I'd like to start with the NASDAQ, and the reason for that is that there's a possible top in play. Now, for this market and other markets, I have bearish patterns that I'm working. There are also bullish patterns as well, but I'm more focused on the bearish patterns at the moment because, say with the NASDAQ here, we have a clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, and now we've got 5 waves coming down through here. And now we've got an ABC correction, and we've got our first little 5 waves coming down here that we'll investigate. Now, what I also want to say is that it's also a bit of a long shot that this ABC for the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave is actually correct. You could label this as a bullish pattern. You could label it as a different corrective rally pattern as well. So there's different ways to label it, but all I'm saying is that there is a possible turning point here, and this will, you know, show up in the S&P and the Dow and the Russell and, you know, other markets around the world once it, or if it starts. Now, the other thing that I want to point out, just because I got the 5 waves here, well, after 5 waves, you're going to get an ABC anyway, aren't you? You're going to get an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. So we may just get that. We may get the A wave here, an ABC for the B wave, and then a C wave here, and then we move up at that point. So that's also possible as well. So really, at the end of the day, it's only when this 5 waves here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, complete, anything below that, then we would have a bigger bearish picture at that point. Okay, so I'm not saying this is the top and we all need to be, you know, get out of our long-term trades and all the rest of it. All I'm saying is that there is a possibility here. There's a lot of bad news floating around out there in the investment world, and some of it, you know, is quite true. But I always find that, you know, things take longer to play out than one would expect. So I'm not jumping to any conclusions. All I'm saying is that we have 5 waves here. It could be a bullish pattern and we could move up. We won't turn totally bearish unless this, after 5 waves here has been completed, then we can look at being bearish over this side if that's indeed going to be the case. Now, on the, that's 50,000 on the, so the Australian market's still clicking to the upside because, well, because of resources and banks, but we expected the banks to rally. So, but I just want to show you the top here because I think it's kind of interesting even to look at. So from the top here, we've been counting our first little 5 waves down, and then we got wave 2, and then we got a nice strong wave down. Then we got 4, and then we got 5. A little bit dodgy on the 5th here, but and then we were looking for the ABC. So took a while, the A, the B, and the C wave here, and then in the next session, last session, we got this 5 wave. We've got 5 waves down here, and then we've got a we've got 5 waves down here. Then we've got an A and a B and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, a bit dodgy, but 5 here for wave 2. Now we've got 5 waves down here, so we're looking for wave 1 here, and copy this and put wave 2 over here. We'll have some sort of A, B, C here. So even still, even though we're bearish, as I was talking about this morning, we can put that in here now because we're talking about this low and then the second low here, and we're looking for a push up here. And so on. So we're going to be looking to short under these lows here. Now, so that's what we're doing at the moment with the tech stocks, you know. But as I mentioned, we had 5 waves over here, and now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what we should get over here. So that's where we are. But it's really only under here that we'll be able to a breach of past this 5 waves that we will be able to say, well, actually, you know, we've moved past the possibility of an A and a B and a C wave here. So now we'll be coming into something deeper here at that point. So I think this is important to understand, and it's not that our market is, you know, all markets on an intraday basis kind of move together a little bit, but at the same time they're doing their own thing as well. So with the Australian market here, we've been, I mean, it's moved up so strong, hasn't it? You know, so it makes it look bullish. So, and look, it could be bullish as well. And if it was going to be bullish, then we would look at this as wave 1 here and 2 here, and then where this wave C is up here, that would be wave 3. And as wave 3, we would still need wave 4, and then we would have wave 5, and then we would have an A and a B and a C coming back, and then we'd be bullish at that point. So if we do get 5 waves up here, then we can look for the ABC coming back, and then we can move up again. Now, this is not an isolated case of having 5 waves up here, because we can look at Apple, but Apple started its trend up. It's really part of this trend here, really, you know, going back into around October, November, I can't remember, I have to check, but somewhere way back here. Then you've got the Teslas that have gone up here and the meta stocks that have gone up here, but those markets can have 5 waves up and then a pullback. So it's quite possible we could turn into 5 waves here, but we also need to understand where we are within the structure and what we can, you know, how far we can do things and take things, you know. So I think our last sort of thing was really trying to get from number 2 to number 3 here, basically, you know, that was the go with that. So we'll go in and have a look at that, but to get a clearer view on this, we'll just go to the 5K here. So looking at this as wave 1 down here, and then an A and a B, and then from B we're going up to C up here in 5 waves, so 1 and 2 in here somewhere, and 3 and 4 here that we've been working through, and then 1 and 2, and it appears we got 5 waves here. So in this case it looks like we'll get a wave 4 here, and then a wave 5 up here. Now the wave 5's not going to be much. You'll just take out the top of wave 3 because wave 1 was quite small, so wave 3's got the thing in it. So it'll be something like this, a wave 4 and a wave 5. Now that's going to create a top. I don't think it will go, we'll see how far it goes anyway. But normally if wave 3's got the extension in it, then wave 1 here and wave 5 will be roughly the same, so I'll just sort of put that in there. But sometimes it depends on how far wave 4 pulls back as well, you know, that's another little thing of it. But I just, you know, straight up as black and white, I wouldn't expect it to go too far, you know, so 73.50 something maybe. So that's really sort of where we're at the moment. And if we were bullish here, then as I mentioned, this would need to be wave 3 over here for this. And then we'd have wave 4 and wave 5 and so on. So that's really where we are at the moment with this. And if we go to, I'm not sure if 1,000 here, I'll just check. Okay, so we were looking at this as, I was never really sure about this particular top here. I probably do need to put that there actually. Now I come to think of it, this is as 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, bit of overlap and stuff. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. Wave 4 would still end up here. And and you know, this would be like a C wave here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but there's overlap within that as well. So you know, you need to be a bit philosophical about it, or use WXY as the joker in the pack. So yeah, so this is where we were yesterday. So we can put this up here, and because the Nasdaq has to rally a little bit, as we just had a bit of a look at in that ABC in wave C to go to the upside. So in the off hours, that will help complete that wave 5 here of wave. There'll be 5 waves in here, so of wave 3, and then wave 4 can pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, which is here, and then we can move up here further, pretty much the length of this one here. So that's sort of where we're at this moment. So that means our banks and our resources can I think that's a nice number, 7372 or 665. We'll go in and have a look, but it'll be something, I'm thinking something like this, or maybe it does get to the 4. And then we will be, in one way or another, we'll be seeing some sort of correction here. This is what I expect to be happening with the banks as such as well. I'll just go in and have a look at this here. Just check on that. Yeah, it's 100. I haven't updated this for a bit, I don't think, but we can just do that and that. 2, 3. And if somebody's got a different count and thinks that I'm wrong, then do let me know. I'm okay with being wrong, and I'm okay to be told what to do. I'm married. So look at this as, oh, I could put 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's probably 1, 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably here. I mean, I'm doing this, but I'll focus on the last little bit here. It's sort of a little bit tricky to understand. I think that might need to go up here somewhere. It kind of doesn't really matter. We're still left with wave 4 here, but this one here is a little bit of a puzzle. That's wave 1 here, 1 and 2 and 3. So we've still got further to go up here. So we can put the 50 in here. And after 50 is 65. 65, 72 in there, and 80. That's group 2. And we'll put the 74 there. So certainly looking bullish. So this would have to be, I have to put wave 1 in here for that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 there. 1, 2. That's starting to give me overlap here, and that's also starting to give me 5 waves down from the top here too, isn't it? I don't want to call that wave 3, 4, and 5. That's a bit weird, isn't it? This is, I'm a bit stuck on that one actually. 1, 2. I could do an expanded flat there. I could do that way with that. And 1, 2. It's just not really ringing true. But I have to say, this move here that's in 5 waves. I would be concerned about that, because I think that I think at least we can go back and have a little rally and then another move down. So we might need to call that top in there, you know. But it just hasn't finished off very nicely, you know. And let's go 1, 2 in here, and 3 and 4 and 3 and ABC for 4 and 5. Yeah, you look, I'm just plucking strings here. It's just not, it's not good. But I'd be mindful of that little 5. And look, you're close to this top here. Okay, that's about the best, closest I can get you at this point. So yeah, so we're close at this point. Okay, I'll leave that there. I just want to see where the banks are. So this is Bank of America here. Now, with Bank of America, because our banks would be doing the same in this rally, so we were looking for, that's like 1, 2, 3 here. So it's probably a little 4 to come back and a 5, and there'll be something finishing off like that, I would imagine. It could be that wave 4 is already here, and we got this down as wave 1 and 2. It'd have to be onto this one though, as 1 and 2 here and come down. So taking that low out here, that's going to take all the banks down. But the 38.2% retracement level is just around the 30 here, just above that. But it's kind of in its later stages, whichever way you want to look at it. And you just need to be careful that this, because our banks will be doing the same in this particular rally here. That's the reason I'm showing this for. And if there is a bear market here, there's 2 things that can happen here, by the way. And this is what I wanted to explain for CBA as well. is that we can go down as the A wave here, the B wave here, and then the C wave here. And in this C wave here would have one, I'd have to lift them up another degree of structure, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's wave C here. So an A and a B and a C, and that's the end of it after that little move here. Or we have this down as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1, and then go back for 2, and then 3, 4, 5, taking us down deeper here. So if we do go into a bear market with the indices, then this is highly probable here. And if this is highly probable coming into this space here, then well, our banks are going to do the same. So when you think about that, all of this here from this B wave top here coming down, right, as 1 and 2 here. So that means that when we look at CBA, we've got two, this is CBA here, we've got two choices here. So I could go wave 1 here, and I could go some sort of A, B, and C here for wave 2 here. So I could put wave 2 over here for this. I could look at this as wave 1 up here with 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then put wave 2 here because it's at its 61.8% retracement level. So it could be that we have wave 1 here, an A and a B and a C for 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one of the problems with this, of course, is that we've got a strong overlap here on this. That's one thing. But it's possible. But we would, if that was going to be the case, as 1 here, A, B, C for 2, then 1 and 2, and then going up here higher, well, then we'd need to see a nice impulse wave coming into this play here. And we'd certainly need to see 100 as support, and I just need to see an impulse wave here. But in the meantime, this is the other count, which is sitting over here for this. So we're moving this and this here and putting the B wave back over here because of the overlap, and wave C doesn't really count as 5 waves and all that sort of stuff. So in this case, the B wave has taken out the top here, so it would make it an expanded flat. And if it was going to be an expanded flat, well, then it would take this out here. And this would be the 61.8% here. It doesn't have to come back that far, but if you consider all of this being wave 1 and 2 here, well, then wave 3, 4, and 5 would have to be sort of shorten up a little bit. So we're just seeing at the moment Bank of America and Morgan's and Goldman's and that basically doing the same as an A and a B and a C coming back up here, or we've already got the top in and we've got 1 coming down. In one way or another, in 2 days' time or whatever, by the end of this week. And also banks do their earnings this week too, later this week. I could put this here as all being completed right in here and squash all these up here, have these as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, and then this wave 4 here and this wave 5 in here and this one, and squash them all up in here and have that low into place. That would be technically doable, but at the same time it's kind of forcing it a little bit, so I wouldn't be happy with that. The only way I would turn bullish here is if I had a nice 5 waves up here. So if I get my 3 waves up as an A and a B and a C wave up here, I'd still need to see the C wave turn into waves 3, 4, 5. So I'd need to get 5 waves up here before I turn bullish in this market, right? So it's possible, but otherwise we'll leave this over here somewhere for this to play out over here, or at least at this one here. So this is kind of where we are in that little rally here. So this is, if this comes, this will also be like the ASX really, coming down further here in line with the banks. So CBA here, we would talk about this here being a corrective pattern in here and would come up a bit higher. So that's the case. We can even come even higher here still. We could still go higher here. Like I said, it can go high, but it won't really leave the 100. You know what I mean? It will just go to 101, 102, 103, that type of thing, and come back and be pulled back by it, like all of this here is pulled pulled to itself, you know, and I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to try to get away, but it's going to be pulled back, and then it's going to get tied. And then it's nice if it does trade above the 100 and it's sitting up here, because when it comes back, or if it comes back, let's say, and it becomes the retested resistance, then that's where we can get our short trade set up, because at the moment the short trade setup's been at under 98 as a retested resistance, and that kept keeping us safe, you know, while it goes high. But if it goes above the 100, then we can eventually use the 100 as a retested resistance to build in our first small short position on that side. So that's kind of where we are. So basically what I'm saying here is that the rally in the banks will be topping out, not only in Australia but the US as well. So then they'll all sort of turn roughly together, and that will help sort of create the top there. Yeah, that's that really. That's what I'm thinking. So when we look at come back to the ASX here, it's possible, unless I've made a mistake, we either got a bit more, basically somewhere we've got wave 3 here, right? We're very close to it. And then we can have wave 4 and wave 5, and then that's the top. So, you know, I mean, this can happen in the after hours as well. And that doesn't leave much time for the bank here. So 1 or 2 sessions for the banks. And like I said, the big banks, I think, report their earnings later in this week, like tomorrow and the next day. So yeah, that all should be pretty interesting. So that's the finance, and then we come over to the resources. And so with the resources, I'm still looking for, in a nutshell, I'm still looking for the US dollar here to have this as wave 3, 4 here, and then come down for 3, 4, 5 here, to come down a bit lower for all of this, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to come down to finish off here. And while this is coming down, we'll see resources be a bit stronger. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. And if we look at our materials sector, which we haven't had a look at for a while, the XMJ here, because this is a bit of a, you know, cut and paste of BHP and RIO and FMG that we look at and so on. So I'll just bring this into the fold. So with this here, I've been looking at this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third, fourth, fifth here for the third. Here, and then we've been looking back at this as the fourth here, and then going up for the fifth wave. So I still think that's a pretty good possibility, but I you know, like I said, I can't prove it until this top here is taken out on BHP, RIO, or any of them, you know. But this is probably the most likely scenario, while the US dollar is a little bit weaker. So wave 4 here has an overlap wave 1, and will push up a bit higher. And that's a good thing here, because when this pushes up here and we're left with this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, well, then, you know, then we can look at this coming back while the banking system is being smashed. Then this will come down with it as well, but this will just come down as an ABC pattern here, you know, just come back as an ABC pattern, and then go up from that point. That's what I'm sort of thinking. You know, and that will take time as well. This is all taken time here. So we'll be in a corrective wave for a while. And this is pretty much in line with copper as well. So if I just bring copper in here, this is just the United States Copper Fund. But we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, will we get that? You know, it looks quite good here as the A wave here, then an A, B, C for the B wave, and then down here for wave 4. It looks okay, you know what I mean? But I still need these tops here taken out as well to have that fifth wave then. If we do get that fifth wave here for copper, then we'll have an ABC pulling back, and then we'll go further up based on those 5 waves there, and we can look at this as an ABC here and so on. So it's kind of the theme. Now, obviously, nickel, palladium, lithium, all of those are in a different sort of thing, but that's where these are at the moment. So anyway, that's what I'm sort of thinking. So we'll just keep an eye on this, see if we can keep pushing up, and it could pull back. It could be up for one and ABC back here and so on and so on. I don't know yet, but that's what I'm sort of thinking at this point. It's a bit tricky to go long at this point, but it also can't really go short here either. So with iron ore here, I could look at it as wave A here, B here, and C here for wave 2 and put this under here. But that C wave's a little bit short, so it's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down here. So there's a couple of different ways to look at it, but this would be a little bit more sensible at this point. But yeah, we'll just keep an eye on them. Do you know what I mean? It's nothing to do here at this particular point. I can't nail down anything for sure. You know, I don't even know if this is wave 1 up here or wave C up here at this point. So it'll be wave 1 up there if the B wave gets taken out. That will be positive for iron ore, and could be the case. So that brings us over to BHP. So, you know, like copper and the XMJ, we can look at it as 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then going up for 5. So, but like I said before, we've got to take that out, you know, and I don't have 5 waves here. It looks like I've got a little 1, 2 here and maybe a 1 and 2 here. I really don't. This could be counted as an ABC to the upside. It could be looked at in both. It can be viewed in different ways. I feel like we should be pushing up if we can see that US dollar push down. You know, that's the thing. So I think we're on the right track with this, but I can't say for sure, and because I can't say for sure, I'm not going to tell people to buy. So Rio is the same as well. We can look at this as the A, the B, and the C wave here and put this in here. I don't know how to count this as 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and ABC up here and all the rest of it. If we've got a classic trading levels pattern on 120, sure, we could trade it to 135 or something, you know, but it's not there yet. And you know, we don't have, you know, iron ore on our bullish side at the moment. You know, that's the other thing. It would be interesting if this one here, this would be the first one to do it, because we could look at this as 1 and 2 in here, and a 3rd wave here, and a 4th wave here. So making a new high above here, that would give 5 waves up here at that point. And if we got 5 waves, that would be 1 and 2 at that point, I'd imagine, and that would be 3, 4, and 5 here. It'll be like that at that point. But I don't know if it's going to break down. Do you know what I mean? I just really don't know. If we get the 5 waves, then we can have a crack at it, you know. But that's sort of where we are with it at the moment. I mean, you know, I can put wave 4 in here really, and wave 5 in here as well. So there's a few ways of looking at it, but I'll just keep it over here for the time being. So I don't know. That's the truth. So that's that, and US spot gold. So yeah, I think the count that we got here is pretty good at the moment. You know, when you think about it, the US dollar here, I was kind of thinking some type of correction here. If this countdown here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pretty dodgy in here. But if this is somehow right here, I mean, it could be just in here as another 1 and 2 and move down from this point. But we'll give it a bit of time. But while this correction's going on here, we'll see gold pull back here. And once this starts to go down into 3, 4, 5, then we should see this push up into the next thing here. The other point here is the pattern at this particular level, the classic trading levels pattern, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, some sort of ABC pattern here. It's not to say that this is not done and dusted. This here, because we don't have a very good 5th wave here for all of this, we could end up with the high further over here as well. I don't know yet, but you know, it's the same thing with the trading levels. You know, you can get a few parts of it wrong early in the stages. That's why it's always good to, it's not going to go far from this big number, you know what I mean? So we can just give it a bit of time. Because it reacted here in the first instance, that means that we should sort of play it out as either this is the first high or first high up here further, depending if we need to look at this as 1 and 2 here, and all of this is wave 3 here and 4 here, and yeah, there is overlap there, but you know, and one more high here, or we get the B and the C. It doesn't really matter, because even if it was this one up here and it goes up higher, you don't need to FOMO out, because it will come back at that point. You know, we could end up having a deeper move here depending on what's going on, and then a move up. So we're not ready for this yet. But the fact that gold is a higher up at the 2000, it does, you know, attract attention for stocks, you know, NST and Newcrest and all the rest of it. But Newcrest now is also at $30. So it's not going to go far from that $30 here now, is it? You know, I mean, what we normally look for here is group 1, which is 33 down to 26.50. That's the swing range. So you need to, you know, make it, if you're going to go for the long haul here, you know, to stay in this, then you have to expect the market to swing, you know, across this number in this particular range here. So yeah, we'll get some type of correction here. And is that the top? Is that the top here? I'm not quite sure. We could possibly, if gold goes higher, we could possibly go higher here. But all I'm saying is that we're not going to go very far from here for a while. Okay, so yeah. But like I've always said, it's a good thing. You know, the gold stocks are you know, they're the thing at the moment. You know. But anyway, let's just watch it play out at that point. And with the Australian dollar here, this particular pattern here, we talked about it yesterday as being a possible wave 4. So I counted this here this morning as 5 waves down here for 1. So we'll look for the, bit like the NASDAQ and that, look for the A, the B and the C wave to come into play back up here, and then probable drop at that point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down here. It's possible to look at it as wave 1 and wave 2 over here. I understand that, but time will tell. We'll see how that looks into this space over here. We can look, if it moves, if this is the A wave and a B wave here, and then this moves up here for this, if it makes a new high above here, then you could put the B wave in here, and that would also be the short trade at that point too. It's a long way from the top here, and you could probably do a better job. So if you've got 5 waves down here and you had an ABC pattern here as well, you could look to short under here. So you could keep lifting it up from here to here to here. If you can clearly see 5 waves here, that means you can short the ABC at the 50-60% here and get a position here, here, and under the level here, and you know, so you keep building in at that particular point. So we'll keep an eye on that, and then we're going to have a look at which I haven't seen today or yesterday. I just want to have a look at the rates here. This is the 2-year bonds here, yields here. So we've been looking at a wave 3 here with an A and a B and a C for wave 4. So it's been holding in here. I'll just keep a bit of an eye on that. I could shorten all of this. I could put an A, B wave there and a C wave here and a wave 4 here and a wave 5 over here to put this wave 3 in and have a big correction over here. That's doable as well. Technically it is, but I don't think it's got the right look and feel about it. So I'll just stay where I am for a moment on this. But anything too far down here, or anything past this 5 waves here, then I would have to do that. But otherwise I'll just leave it here at the moment for that. But yeah, I mean, you can see here that, you know, we've had nice, I think this is on log scale, is it? So, yeah, so definitely some type of fourth wave here. We got some topping process in here for this, you know. But even though it's going to correct here, I don't think that inflation is under control at this point. Yeah, so it'll take a rest. The RBA have not moving their rates, so it should rest. But I just don't think it's the top here yet for this. So anyway, let's just go in and have a look at copper. We did really kind of have a look at copper a little bit. So yeah, you know, it's a bit like the XMJ we looked at, and the copper trust, the fund, the copper United States fund. So yeah, as far as we can tell, that would be as 1 and 2, and look at 3, 4, 5 going up here. So that would see the US dollar move to the downside. And once the US dollar gets that low in place, then we'll have a top here, and then this will pull back here, and that this wave 2 pullback here will coincide with the dollar here. So with the dollar here, if we look at the top here, this will all be down here for wave 1 down here. So, and then the wave 2 to pull back here. So this wave 2, this finishing off here, that's like wave 1 and 2 here in the mirror reverse here. So that's 1 and 2, there'll be 3, 4, 5 to get to wave 1 up here. And then this will be wave 1 here, down here. So this will be wave 1 here, yada, 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 and this here, and then down again. I mean, it could be an A and a B and a C down here too, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see if this plays out. Let's just see if we get these 5 waves first. That's what's sort of happening, looking like happening here. So that's all pretty good. Let's just keep an eye on this little guy. Yeah, okay, we've got a bit of a high here, so a little bit of brush of fresh air there. Blue skies, or sky, or Murray in Aboriginal terms. So let's cruise over to nickel. We know what nickel's doing, isn't it? It's not worth a nickel. Let's just have a look here. Oh, we've got a few bumps here. We've got all of these popped up a little bit here. Let's just check, why is that flat? Oh, because it'll be the end of a futures session. And just looking at that little rally, we know it's going to do all of this, you know. I mean, it'll be interesting if it you know, this has been, I'm just assuming this is 5 waves up here, right? So, and this is, I'm assuming this is corrective. I kind of see it in 3 waves here. It's pretty dodgy. But, and if we get 5 waves up here, anything above those 5 waves, and then we can start turning bullish on it, you know. Maybe we go into a triangle here. There's an A, B, C, D, and E over here for that. Possible. Anyway, just no trading here. And if we're going to trade anything, it will be in these guys here. But I'll better have a look. Yeah, well, expecting a move up here anyway, aren't we? So, yeah, I mean, that's looking corrective. You know. I mean, personally, I wouldn't trade this unless I was just day trading something, you know, because what I would have to do for myself is I would want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, and then the ABC pullback, and then I become interested in it, you know. The risk reward factor here and the sweating it out, trying to get past 13 and, you know, major level. I look, yeah, and when I'm looking at stocks, I call 13 a major level, but not so much with other markets. But anyway, nothing to see here. How's our lithium market going? They were all green last night. That's good. Start with this one, but yeah, expecting a bounce off here. So look, we'll probably see things rally, you know, while the US dollar moves down, you know, that's one thing. So maybe not so quick on this. Maybe the wave 2 will be over here with an A and a B and a C wave here for wave 2, then down, something of that nature. I mean, I'd like it to be bullish here, but I can't call it in bullish here. You know, even, I mean, I've got money in this, nothing, you know, not even worth telling grandma about. But yeah, we'll just see. Let's just check on some of these. I'm more interested in the Chinese ones. Okay, so definitely getting a lift off here, aren't we? So this is we'll have to get, it looks like 5 waves here, so that's very interesting actually. But it's because this B wave took out the top here, I'm not so much interested in this, but if somebody can count 5 waves in this, please show me a chart. This one here was a little bit more sort of interesting. This is a bit of a hard count too, really, isn't it? It's almost like this one here. We'll have to do some webinars when I've just been so busy with the new site. We're getting there, but we will be doing some webinars on that new site, and there will be webinars. I'm trying to think. I don't mind doing a webinar about how to read volume or something on the trading levels and all that, but I think something a little bit more engaging where everybody can come with one stock in mind, and we can all just pile into that one stock and have opinions about it and talk about it. And it's good when you get situations like this that are a little bit sort of tough to read. So this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So we could probably bring that down to here. And the trouble with this here, though, is that looks like a B wave over here. That looks like 5 waves in here. So then wave 2 would end up coming over here. Then that would make that wave 3 here. Then we'd have to look at this as wave 4 and then wave 5. So maybe we don't have further to come down, you know. So this is what I think we could use the webinars for, to, you know, talk about things like this. But anyway, the thing here is, guys, we don't have a nice impulse wave to the upside. So, you know, as nice as it would be to buy on the bottom, and we know you can buy on large numbers. This is 65 here. So this is, you know, it carries a lot of weight. And we're going to see that again here. And we can see it in history here. So I don't need to sell it. Let's just have a look at these guys. Well, we should see a rally here. That looks like a little 5 waves here. So, you know, maybe we got wave, maybe this Pilbara Minerals is like BHP and Rio and that, with the wave, you know, wave 3 and 4 here, and we go up for wave 5 here. What about Liontown here? Yeah, it's still being pulled into here. I still think it needs to go up here further. But a bit more time here will shake a few of these people out at this that price point. All right, I'll leave it all at that. Yeah, I think we've covered most things. Alrighty, cheers.